You are walking to your car at night. The parking lot is empty. Nothing is wrong. And yet your heart is pounding. Your eyes scan every shadow. Your ears catch every sound. Your legs are ready to run before you've even decided to. But the real answer for why this happens is far stranger than fear. Your brain is not reacting to tonight. It is reacting to something that happened 300,000 years ago, and it has never gotten the memo that the danger is gone. You call this feeling anxiety. Your ancestors called it survival. Picture the African savanna roughly 2 million years ago. Grass taller than a person. Wind moving it in waves. Somewhere in that grass, a predator waits. It does not announce itself. It does not growl a warning. The ones who survived were not the strongest humans. They were the most suspicious ones. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades studying a small, almond-shaped cluster of neurons buried deep in the brain called the amygdala. His research showed something remarkable. A threat signal can reach the amygdala before it even reaches the part of your brain responsible for conscious thought. You can flinch away from a shape in the grass before you know what the shape is. Fear, in other words, does not wait for permission. It acts first and explains itself later. This matters more than it sounds like it should. It means your brain built an alarm system designed to be wrong on purpose. Better to jump at 100 sticks that look like snakes than to miss the one snake that isn't a stick. Think about what that trade-off actually costs. Every false alarm wastes a little energy. A racing heart for nothing. A jolt of adrenaline over a plastic bag caught in the wind. But a missed real threat costs everything. There is no second chance to notice the predator you didn't notice. So natural selection didn't build a system that tries to be accurate. It built a system that tries to be safe. Accuracy was never the goal. Survival was. This is worth sitting with for a moment because it reframes almost every anxious moment you've ever had. Your brain was never optimized to make you feel good. It was optimized to make your ancestors' genes survive long enough to pass on. Feeling good was, at best, a side effect. Sometimes it wasn't even that. There is a theory for this, developed by primatologist Lynn Isbell, called the snake detection hypothesis. Isbell proposed that snakes were one of the earliest and most consistent predators of early primates, and that this long shared history shaped how primate vision itself evolved. Studies following her theory found that human infants, with no prior experience of danger at all, detect images of snakes faster than they detect flowers or frogs. Nobody taught them that. It came pre-installed. Consider what that really implies. A baby who has never seen a snake, never been warned about one, never even learned the word for one, will still lock onto its shape faster than almost anything else you show them. That is not a lesson. That is a memory, passed down not through stories but through DNA, written by millions of years of primates who didn't see the snake in time and didn't get to have children as a result. You carry their unfinished business in your visual cortex. And it isn't only snakes. Spiders, sudden loud noises, the sensation of something crawling on your skin, wide open spaces with nowhere to hide, all of these trigger disproportionate reactions in modern humans compared to genuinely more dangerous things, like electrical outlets or fast-moving cars. Cars kill far more people every year than snakes or spiders ever could. But your gut doesn't know that statistic. Your gut only knows what kept your great-great-great-grandparents alive. Now here is where it gets strange. That system never got an update. Your brain today is running software built for a world that mostly doesn't exist anymore. You are not dodging leopards. You are dodging emails. You are not listening for a predator in the grass. You are listening for your phone to buzz with bad news. But your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a real predator and a looming deadline. To your oldest neural circuitry, stress is stress. Threat is threat. Why does this matter for you specifically today? Because it explains a feeling you've probably had and never understood. That jolt when your phone buzzes and you don't know who it is. That prickling unease when someone stands slightly too close to you in a line. That instinct to check over your shoulder in a parking garage, even in a city with almost no crime. None of that is irrational. It is ancient. It is a survival mechanism firing exactly as designed, just aimed at the wrong century. Stanford biologist and neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky spent years studying stress in baboons in Kenya, and later applied what he learned to human stress responses. His central finding was simple and unsettling. Zebras get stressed for exactly as long as the lion is chasing them. Then it's over. Their bodies return to baseline within minutes. Humans do not do this. Humans can trigger the exact same stress response by simply imagining a threat, remembering one, or anticipating one that hasn't happened yet. You can be stalked by a lion that exists only in your thoughts, and your body will respond as if it's real. Think about what that means. Every time you replay an argument in your head, your body may be quietly releasing the same stress hormones it would release if you were actually being chased. Every time you imagine a conversation going badly before it happens, some part of your nervous system treats it as if it already has. This is the core idea behind the title of Sapolsky's most famous work. Zebras don't get ulcers. Not because their lives are peaceful. Lions really do chase them several times a week and the stakes really are life and death. But once the chase ends, whether the zebra escapes or doesn't, the survivors go back to grazing within minutes. No lingering dread. No mental replay of the chase later that evening. The stress response is a tool they pick up and put down. You, on the other hand, can pick up that same tool and simply never put it down. You can wake up at 3 in the morning replaying something you said 5 years ago. You can feel your pulse spike over a text message that hasn't even been answered yet. The zebra's stress response ends when the danger ends. Yours can run on a loop with no danger at all, just the memory of one, or the fear of one that hasn't happened yet. Your ancestors' brains were built for short bursts of extreme danger followed by long stretches of calm. Yours is being asked to run that same system continuously, for hours, for days, sometimes for years. No wonder it feels exhausting. You are using Stone Age hardware to survive an information age threat landscape it was never built for. But here is the twist most people miss. This hypervigilance was not a flaw. It was the whole point. Evolutionary psychiatrist Randolph Nesse has argued that many of the feelings we now label as disorders, including much of what we call anxiety, are not malfunctions at all. They are defenses. Smoke detectors, he explains, are designed to go off far more often than there's an actual fire, because the cost of missing a real fire is so much higher than the cost of a false alarm. Your anxiety works the same way. It would rather embarrass you in front of a room by making your hands shake than let one real threat slip past unnoticed. Nesse's smoke detector principle explains something else too. Why anxiety so often feels disproportionate to the actual situation. A minor social awkwardness, like forgetting someone's name, can trigger a wave of dread completely out of scale with the real-world consequence. That feels irrational, until you remember what social standing meant to your ancestors. Being cast out of the group wasn't an inconvenience. In a small band of hunter-gatherers, exclusion could mean losing access to food, protection, and mates. Could mean death. Your brain still treats social rejection with the same intensity it once deserved, even though missing someone's name at a party today carries none of that risk. So the racing heart in the parking lot? It's not broken. It's doing exactly what kept your ancestors alive long enough to have children who eventually had you. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If this system worked so well for millions of years, why does it feel so bad to live inside now? The answer is mismatch. Your environment changed far faster than your biology could keep up. Grasslands and predators used to be the main sources of danger, and they were visible, physical, and resolvable. You could run, fight, or hide and then it was over. Today's threats are mostly invisible. A tense email. A vague social slight. A red notification badge with no explanation. There is nothing to run from and nothing to fight. So the alarm just keeps ringing with nowhere for all that readiness to go. This is why so many people describe modern anxiety as a feeling of being trapped, rather than a feeling of being scared. Your body wants to do something. Sprint, climb, strike. But you're sitting at a desk, and the mobilization has nowhere to land. Does knowing this fix it? Not completely. But it does something almost as useful. It removes the shame. You are not weak for feeling on edge in a crowded room. You are not broken for lying awake replaying a small mistake. You are running one of the oldest, most successful survival programs in the natural world, in an environment it was never designed to run in. The wiring that once meant the difference between life and death for your ancestors is the same wiring lighting up when your boss says, "Can we talk?" with no context. Some researchers now believe the goal isn't to silence this system, but to give it somewhere to go. Physical movement, they've found, helps discharge the very hormones your body releases during a stress response, essentially finishing the loop your ancestors would have finished by literally running from danger. It's part of why a walk after a stressful conversation can feel like relief, even when nothing about the situation has changed. Your body isn't just calming down. It's completing something it started. There's something almost comforting in that idea. Your nervous system isn't asking you to be fearless. It's asking you to finish the loop it was built to run. Let the body do what it was preparing to do, even if there's no lion to run from. Athletes have known a version of this for a long time, the way a hard workout can clear a mind that hours of sitting and worrying never could. You're not just burning calories. You're closing a circuit that's been left open since the savannah. And maybe that's the real lesson buried under all of this. Your ancestors didn't get to choose whether they felt afraid. Neither do you. What they could choose and what you can choose too, is what to do with that fear once it arrives. Even a small action can tell the ancient guard in your skull that the threat has been handled, that it can stand down for now, that its job is done. Understanding where this feeling comes from won't make it disappear. It was never designed to disappear. But it can change how you carry it. Instead of a mysterious flaw in your personality, it becomes a 200,000-year-old inheritance, doing its best with incomplete information, trying to protect a person it has never actually met, because you didn't exist yet when the instructions were written. So the next time your heart pounds in an empty parking lot, or your stomach drops at an unread message, try noticing it differently. Not as a glitch. Not as weakness. As an ancient guard, still standing post, still scanning the grass for a threat that vanished hundreds of thousands of years ago. It never stopped watching for you. You are still walking to your car at night. The parking lot is still empty. Your heart is still pounding. But now you know the truth. It was never really about the parking lot at all.